I'm going to take you guys on a little bit of a creative journey today and show you some of the new projects that I'm working on. This here is a wonderful map that was created for me by the talented Rachael Ward at Cartography. That's Cartography with an I. And she designed this, she rendered this map professionally, let's say, with her design programs. And it was based on this sketch that I provided to her. You guys might have seen me posting about this in our Facebook groups and Instagram groups. And then later, after I got this JPEG and PNG back from her, I had it printed on this wonderful Chinese scroll. And this is the world of Language Land, and this is where the story and card game takes place. This is where all the characters live. You can see Words Way, the Dragonspine Canyon, the city of Embertell, and so on. This scroll is a little big, so it's hard to show you everything on camera. But this is the city of Wordhaven, where the word wizards live, and they set off from here to travel across Language Land and learn foreign languages in different ways. So when I came up with the idea for this project, I wanted to start off with a map and a story so that I would have a rich background to draw from when I create the artwork and create the card game. Alright, let's move this beautiful map out of the way. I usually have this hanging on the wall. It gives me a lot of inspiration. And I'd like to send perhaps smaller versions of it to customers as well in the future. Something else I've been working on for I've probably worked on it for almost a year, maybe somewhere around 8 months or so, and this is the story called Heading into Language Land. It's a short story. It's really what I call book one. It's about 10,000 words, and it's basically finished. I have had it professionally edited by the wonderful Laura Quartey at Q Transcriptions. I highly recommend her. She's an amazing editor. She has an eagle eye. And this story I will also be releasing to customers along with the card game and the map. So all the characters and locations, again, that you will find in the card game and on the map, you can learn more about as you follow the action in this story. That was a lot of fun to write, and I'm already working on the second edition of that story, book 2. The next thing I want to show you is sort of my creative notebooks that I work in. This is a notebook that I've had probably for at least 3 years now, and whenever I get ideas for games, I record it in here. Oh, there's a big blank section there. We're missing the action. I guess the notebook's kind of separated into different project areas, so there's some chunks that are a little bit empty. But there's different stories in here and ideas for games. And so the Language Land card game designs are also in here. This is some of my first sketches for how the cards should look. The front of the cards, the face of the cards, and the backs of the cards. And these over in this notebook is whenever I have an idea for a game rule or a game mechanic or something that might take place during the game, I just write it down in here in a big list. And later this summer, when I have much more free time during my days, I'm going to see how I could weave some of these different rules and ideas together into a game that will actually work. But if you're a creative and you enjoy the creative process, you know how essential it is to have notebooks handy so you can continually capture your ideas, because you might not be in the right time or place to bring that idea to fruition. You might have to come back to it when you have time, so you don't want to forget it. You don't want to lose it. You need a place to hold on to that. And then what I started to do is to sketch out some ideas that I have for how characters could look on the cards. So here's a word wizard. Here is a wordsmith. The word wizards are more philosophical in their studies, and the wordsmiths are more pragmatical. Got a troll here. Also have the gablins. Instead of calling them goblins, I'm calling them gablins because it references the fact that they like to gossip and talk behind people's backs, and they can never shut up. And trolls, I'm using that word not just because we have the traditional troll character from mythology, but also it brings to mind the new definition of internet trolls. So remember that this is all related to language learning and the use of language, and that's why I have those types of ideas. Now these sketches, some of you already know who are following this project closely, that I have been sending my ideas to artists who can professionally render them, because I'm going to need about 20 to 25 pieces to pull off this card game, and I'm currently working with about 10 different artists to get it done. And I'm planning to interview some of them for my channel if I can, so we're going to get to learn a lot more about their creative process. And if you want to see some of the works that are finished or almost finished, I'm going to be posting some of their updates to my Instagram and Facebook so you can see their amazing work. This word wizard, for example, I have posted about once already. The work in progress of Kayla Tait is handling this one, and it looks great. She really got the vibe I was after. So check out the Instagram and Facebook if you want to see her sketch and where that's going. Now, as for how the game functions, right now I'm still kind of playing around with it and testing it. I'm using some scrap cards and scrap pieces of paper and practicing right here on this table for how it can work. But I have been sort of lining up these different elements since about January of this year. And so I think I'm lined up really well to take a deep dive into the project this summer. I know I told you guys before I would probably have it done this summer, but now I'm not quite so sure because bringing together all these different elements is taking much more time than I expected. So hopefully before the end of the year, this project will be out in its first form, Language Land. Alright, that's it for today's video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you back here next time at Legendary Language Learner.